Good evening, my name is James Bamford and my theme for tonight is compulsion, the state or condition of being compelled. My first character is a young man compelled by his desire for vengeance. Act 2, Scene 2 of Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her workings all his visage wand? Tears in his eyes, distractions in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit. And all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metalled rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pater cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as the lungs? Who does me this? Swoons, I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or this I should have fattened the region's kites with this slave's offal! Bloody, bawdy villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I! This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, the scullion, violent foe about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil have power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. My next character is compelled by art to write. In this scene, he tries to explain his tortured existence to Nina and dispel any notion of the wonderful, brilliant life she perceives. The Seagull by Anton Chekhov. Act 2, Trigorin. So, all right, let's talk about my wonderful, brilliant life. Now let's see. Where shall we begin? You know how some people become obsessed with something? Like the moon, for instance. Well, I guess you might say that writing is my moon. All I think about night and day is writing. I must write, I must write, I must! And as soon as I finish writing one story, I have to start another, and then another and another. It never ends! I ask you, what's so beautiful and brilliant about that? It's a crazy and lonely way to live. Here I am, excited, talking to you. But at the same time, I can't take my mind off my work. The story that's waiting for me in my room. I see that cloud. And I see it as a grand piano. So I make a mental note of it for my story. A cloud that looked like a grand piano floated by. I smell the heliotrope, and I capture it in my mind so that I can use it for a description of a summer's evening. I catch myself listening to everything that I say, and everything that you say too. I look up all the words and phrases in my literary storehouse. Who knows when they might come in handy? Do you think I've lost my mind? Do you think my friends treat me like a normal person? What are you writing now, they ask. When's your next story? It's always the same. They give me attention, they flatter me, but between you and me, I think it's phony. They're deceiving me like you do a sick person. I'm afraid sometime they're going to grab me from behind and cart me off to the asylum like they did that crazy man in Gogol. I do find pleasure in my writing, though, and when I'm reading proofs. But once it's published, I hate it, and I wish I'd never written it. I feel angry, irritable, rotten, like it was all a mistake. And then the public reads it. You hear, "Ah, yes, very clever. He's gifted, but he's not Tolstoy." Or, "Ah, yes, very good, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons was better." To my dying day, I'll be clever and gifted. Nothing more. Compulsions are often a response to anxiety, and my next character, Charlie Brown, is no exception. Inspired by the comic strip Peanuts by Charlie M. Schultz, this monologue is taken from the musical comedy You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, by Clark Gessner. I think lunchtime is about the worst time of the day for me. Always having to sit here alone. Of course, sometimes mornings aren't so pleasant either. Waking up and wondering if anyone would really miss me if I never got out of bed. Then there's the night, too. Oh well, I guess I better see what I've got. Peanut butter. Some psychiatrists say that people who eat peanut butter sandwiches are lonely. I guess they're right. There's that cute little red-headed girl eating her lunch over there. I wonder what she would do if I went over and asked if I could sit with her. She'd probably laugh right in my face. It's hard on a face when it gets laughed in. There's a space next to her on the bench. There's no reason why I couldn't just go over there and sit there. I could do that right now. All I'd have to do is stand up. I'm standing up. I'm sitting down. I'm a coward. She's looking at me! She's looking at me! Lunchtime is among the worst times of the day for me. If that girl is looking at me with this stupid bag over my face, she must think I'm the biggest fool alive. On the other hand, I can't tell if she's looking at me until I take it off. Then again, if I never take it off, I'll never have to know if she was looking at me or not. On the other hand, it's very hard to breathe in here. She's not looking at me. Oh well, another lunch hour over with only 2,863 to go. In conclusion, compulsive behavior is universal and inevitable. In classical theatre, Hamlet's compulsion leads to his demise. In The Seagull, Trigorin doesn't find contentment. And in the musical comedy, Charlie Brown goes on to realise being a good man means trying your best and making the most of the things you've been given in life. But what is the solution? My last piece this evening offers us some guidance on how to navigate not only our compulsive nature, but whatever fate may deal us. An extract from the novel Kafka by the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Sometimes fate is like a small sandstorm that keeps changing directions. You change direction, but the storm chases you. Over and over you play this out, like some ominous dance with death just before dawn. Why? Because this storm isn't something that blew in from far away, something that has nothing to do with you. This storm is you, something inside of you. So all you can do is give into it. Walk straight inside the storm, closing your eyes and plugging up your ears so the sand doesn't get in, and walk through it, step by step. There's no sun there, no moon, no direction, no sense of time. Just fine white sand swirling up into the sky like pulverized bones. That's the kind of sandstorm you need to imagine. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain. When you walk out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm is all about.